afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Live at 4. Another mild day out there.
Yeah, and enjoy it, savor it, because a big change is on the way.
Yeah, we have an alert day coming up. We'll get all of the weather coming up from Julian in just a minute. But first, prosecutors in the Chandler-Halderson trial picked up where they left off a week ago, focusing hours of testimony on physical evidence.
A family and a school district is grieving today after a deadly crash in Madison over the weekend.
And finding a COVID test is as simple as asking for one online. We'll show you how the government's website looks to make it very easy. And let's take a look outside. Folks out on the ice, hoping I'm sure it's thick enough by now. It's been pretty cold. Bitter cold returns. However, Julian is in the backyard. How low is it going to go?
Well, it's going to be going pretty low. We'll get to that in just a moment. Even though today was definitely something to enjoy. Much more mild, as our high was about 36 degrees, well above the average. It's around 27 degrees around this time of year. However, it has been on the breezier side, so it has felt a bit chillier, but nothing like we had over the past couple of days. Now, as we take a look at our radar, pretty quiet around southern Wisconsin, but we can see just to the north over the past 3 hours, there has been some activity around Wisconsin for us, but we've just been able to miss it. Temperatures as of right now, 35 degrees in Madison with 39 in Janesville with 34 in Platteville. Still quite a mild day for us, but wind speeds, however, from the south is the reason why we're still onto the milder side, but definitely still kicking into the breezy end as we're into those upper teens throughout all of southern Wisconsin, except for certain areas like Boscobel, which is at 9 degrees. But look at, or 9 miles per hour. But look at our wind chills. This is what we're seeing, 25 degrees in Madison with 24 in Platteville and 30 in Janesville. Over the next 12 hours, temperatures are going to hold pretty steady until we get into the overnight hours, where we are looking for quite a drop in temperatures, which is why we have the alert day in effect for Thursday and Thursday nights, because of those temperatures taking such a steep dive. Now, taking a look at our traffic as of right now, as we're starting to load things up, we are still looking pretty good around the belt line and over towards the interstate as well. But we'll have much more coming up in a few moments about the details on the alert day in a few moments. Until then, back to you guys in the studio.
All right, Julian, we'll see you then. Thank you. Investigators say they found a dozen containers worth of bone fragments in the Halderson fireplace.
The Chandler-Halderson trial resumes today after a hiatus due to the defendant previously testing positive for COVID. Today, experts testified about what they found in the home.
Our Brady Mallory takes us to court to show us what they're looking for when they examine the bone fragments. Brady?
Well, prosecutors have alleged Chandler-Halderson used the family's fireplace to try to dispose of some of Bart and Krista Halderson's remains. Today, the Dane County Medical Examiner's Office Chief of Investigations and a forensic anthropologist gave testimony. Dr. Christina Figueroa Soto says they found 230 bone fragments in the fireplace and in the ash trap. Many of them are confirmed to be human bone, including pieces of skull, fingers, and kneecaps. She says she was looking at these fragments for signs of trauma.
Those two images are from different planes so that you can actually appreciate the cut itself, right? So those arrows that you can see are indicating the cut. And then on the other image, you can kind of see the border of it. That is almost, it is indicative of a cut mark.
She says they also found several teeth but weren't able to trace them back to who they belonged to. Coming up at 5 and 6, we'll hear testimony about Krista Halderson's remains and fingerprint evidence prosecutors say linked Chandler-Halderson to his parents' deaths.
Brady, thank you. We'll see you at 5. A La Follette high school student was killed in a crash over the weekend that also sent 2 people to the hospital with serious injuries. 14-year-old Jeremiah Broomfield, a freshman at La Follette High School, died of injuries he suffered in the Saturday evening 2-car crash on Schrader Road. A makeshift memorial marks the crash scene. 2 other people in the car, a 12-year-old with serious injuries, and the driver were hospitalized. Witnesses reportedly saw someone running from the other vehicle involved in the crash. That person was later arrested but has not yet been charged in relation to the crash.
The Peace Corps is celebrating its 60th anniversary, and the University of Wisconsin's connection to the volunteer program runs deep. A display at the state capitol celebrates everything that Badger members of the Corps have accomplished around the world since 1961. UW-Madison has been #1 in the number of Peace Corps volunteers the last 4 years in a row, and the university is #2 all time since the organization started. In 1961, President John F. Kennedy challenged students to foster peace by living and working in developing countries.
Showing people that America is a very diverse place and that we are here for all kinds of reasons, but primarily to work with them. And we have a wide variety of people, of colors of people, of types of people, and everybody is welcome.
The display in the Capitol Rotunda is self-guided and open until the end of the month. Each picture has a plaque explaining what is going on, written by the original photographer.
Wisconsin Republican lawmakers have introduced a package of legislation that would tighten eligibility for unemployment benefits and Medicaid coverage. Republicans said that the bills are designed to get more people into the workforce and address what they maintain is a crippling labor shortage in the state. The sweeping package would require audits of recipients' work searches and a state audit of attempts to prevent fraud. The bills also would shrink the length of time people can receive unemployment benefits as the unemployment rate drops and prohibit automatic renewal of Medicaid benefits.
The workforce shortage is extremely real and dire. This has been coming for a long, long time. Perhaps 20 years ago, before I was ever thinking about running for office, I would hear about nursing shortages. Well, yeah, it'll sort of take care of itself. Well, we're here to put the pieces together.
The bills would strip Medicaid benefits from able-bodied childless adults who refuse a job offer and deny unemployment benefits to people who refuse job interviews or don't show up. The Republicans plan on voting for these bills before the end of February.
It was a celebration and an examination of the state dairy industry today in and around the Capitol. The Wisconsin Dairy Business Association held its 4th annual Dairy Day. Farmers and industry leaders got together to discuss issues like clean water initiatives, dairy processor grants, and transportation funding. Assembly Speaker Robin Vos voiced support for increased legal immigration to address the workforce shortages that farmers are experiencing.
We need to bring more people to our state. We need to increase immigration. We need to bring immigration not just from foreign countries legally, but from other parts of the country.
The event is the precursor to the 2022 Dairy Strong Conference next week at Monona Terrace. Former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo is scheduled to speak. Well, some Americans were able to order free at-home COVID tests today before the official government rollout tomorrow of the new website, covidtests.gov.
It'll give everyone the opportunity to have at-home rapid COVID test mailed to your home for free.
Michael George reports from New York.
Getting your hands on those at-home COVID tests may soon get a little easier. Tuesday, the Biden administration quietly tested its website for Americans to order free tests delivered to their doorstep.
Are these orders being registered? Are they going to be?
Yeah, that's beta testing.
Okay.
Yeah. So meaning we're going to launch it formally tomorrow morning.
California has now tallied more than 7 million coronavirus cases, just 1 week after surpassing the 6 million mark. New state guidelines would allow healthcare facilities to immediately bring back workers who test positive for COVID but are asymptomatic.
We don't have choices in some areas.
Rising case counts forced Houston schools and offices to close for another day. But hospitalizations and cases in New York City are dropping fast, prompting the mayor to keep schools open and predict victory.
Let's be clear on this. We are winning.
The mayor credits the city's high vaccination rates for the success, with 16 million doses administered, including 2.5 million boosters. Vaccination rates and public health policies are inconsistent across the country. During a virtual panel at the World Economic Forum Monday, Dr. Anthony Fauci lamented the pushback against safety measures.
Reluctance to wear masks, reluctance to promote vaccination. We know if we all pull together as a society, we would be much, much better off.
He said the chance of eradicating COVID altogether is not likely. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
Public government tracking data shows at points more than 750 people were accessing the test order website, but some users reported trouble with the address verification tool.
The TSA says 6,000 guns were found at checkpoints nationwide, beating the 2019 record by more than 1,500. Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson was the top on the TSA list. 507 were detected in 2021, up from 323 in 2019. And this was the scene after after a gun was found by a TSA officer last November when the suspect reached in and accidentally discharged the weapon, causing chaos at the world's busiest airport. Dallas, Houston, Phoenix, and Nashville round out the top 5. You can take a gun onto a plane, but only safely and securely as checked luggage. Taking a gun to a checkpoint could cost you.
Know that if you do have a weapon and it's detected in the checkpoint, it's first going to take you a lot more time. Secondly, there might be local law enforcement action. And third, we will follow up with a civil penalty action.
And that fine is nearly $14,000 in addition to whatever charges local law enforcement brings. And losing your TSA pre-check, all that pretty costly for something that is absolutely preventable. The National Shooting Sports Foundation says in 2020, over 8.4 million people bought a gun for the first time. That same year, a record 21 million background checks were conducted, compared to 13.2 million in 2019.
Authorities in the Pacific Island nation of Tonga say the country is facing an unprecedented disaster. At least 3 people are confirmed dead, but it's feared the real number could be much higher. An underwater volcano erupted, delivering unknown destruction and cutting communication to the island nation. So far, the only glimpse of the island has come from the sky surveillance planes that have snapped photos of destroyed villages and landscape covered in ash.
We are all a bit in the dark about exactly the scale of damage or what people are experiencing.
The eruption triggered a tsunami that tore across the Pacific, hitting countries like Fiji, an island 500 miles away from the volcano. Angela Glover of Great Britain died after being swept away when she went to the beach to rescue her dogs. Tongan authorities fear the death toll will grow as the full scale of the disaster becomes clear.
Senate Democrats are pressing forward on voting rights bills, starting the debate today. A group of voting rights advocates demonstrated outside of the Capitol, while inside, Senate Democrats are moving forward with debate on legislation they say will make the ballot more accessible. The legislation faces a major roadblock since not all Democrats support changing Senate rules that would allow lawmakers to pass it with just a simple majority.
The public is entitled to know where each senator stands on an issue as sacrosanct as defending our democracy.
This is about one party wanting the power to unilaterally rewrite the rule book of American elections.
Democrats will huddle this evening to discuss next steps, with a procedural vote planned as soon as tomorrow. But Republicans are expected to block it from getting the required 60 votes in the evenly divided Senate. Well, nothing hits the spot on a cold winter day like a nice hot bowl of soup.
When we come back, Angie Horkin from the Wisconsin Beef Council is standing by with 2 great recipes for you to try. That's coming up next on Live at 4.
You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4.
At Harker Heating and Cooling, you can save a whole bunch of money when you buy a furnace. You know what's even better? Saving even more money when you purchase a furnace and an air conditioner at the same time.
Harker Heating and Cooling.
We love our new home. Lots of windows, great light.
But the birds. They're back.
Yes, I hear them.
Uh-oh. Why are these birds so angry?
At least Geico makes bundling our home and car insurance easy.
We save a lot.
I'm going.
Hurry, hurry!
I know.
For bundling made easy, go to geico.com.
What are you recommending for muscle pain?
Based on clinical data, I recommend Salonpas.
Agreed. My patients like these patches because they work up to 12 hours, even on moderate pain.
Salonpas, it's good medicine.
Finding the right ingredients for a healthy lifestyle can be tricky. That's why SSM Health and News 3 Now are here to help.
Our Time for Kids recipe for health experts use online conversations and on-air reports to answer your health questions.
So tell us, what topics would your family like to hear about? What questions do you have?
Use the handy feedback form on our Time for Kids page to share what matters most to your family's health. And together,
let's take time for kids.
Dirt's gonna fly
July at the Alliant Energy Center. The Monsters of Destruction, February 4th and 5th at 7:30 and the 6th at 2 p.m. Top monster trucks including Laminator, War Wizard, and Crazy Train, along with the insane action of freestyle motocross. Every ticket includes a pit pass for the pit party with drivers and riders, plus go for a ride in a monster truck. Get tickets and details at monstersofdestruction.com. Get ripped up. The Monsters of Destruction, February 4th, 5th, and 6th.
Hello, I'm Gary Canoldi, inviting News 3 Now viewers to join me on an Alaska and Glacier Bay cruise August 9th through the 21st. We'll discover the cities of Anchorage and Fairbanks and enjoy a guided tour in Denali National Park. We'll also relax on a wonderful 4-night Holiday America Line cruise, including Glacier Bay National Park. Visit holidayvacations.com, keyword WISC, to learn more about this tour and to watch a travel show. Or call 888-557-1020 for a free brochure.
Open late, early, weekends, after double shifts, during lunch breaks, in between grocery shopping, side gigs, and picking up the kiddos. Drop off your docs, upload online, or file on the go. At Jackson Hewitt, we work around your schedule so you can get your biggest refund guaranteed.
At Harker Heating and Cooling, you can save a whole bunch of money when you buy a furnace. You know what's even better? Saving even more money when you purchase a furnace and an air conditioner at the same time.
Harker Heating and Cooling.
Well, have you ever wanted to insure your legs? Yes, it is a thing.
And supermodel Heidi Klum has insured hers for $2 million. But in a recent interview on Ellen, she shared that one is worth more than the other. Klum explained that when she was a child, she fell into some glass, leaving her with a huge scar on one of her legs. The model said she finds the whole insurance thing weird, and it wasn't even her who insured them, it was a client. Some other celebrities who have body parts insured are Dolly Parton, well, that makes sense, Jennifer Lopez, Rihanna, and Madonna.
Well, have you gotten into Wordle yet? It has taken the internet by storm. But now a game with a similar name is also reaping the rewards unintentionally and using its newfound popularity, actually, to do something good and help charities. Wordle is a free browser game that is only available online. Users get 6 chances to guess the word of the day. But the game's word-of-mouth popularity has gotten people mistakenly searching for it on the App Store, and that is where Wordle with an exclamation point comes in. The developer of that 2017 app noticed a recent spike in downloads, and when he realized it, he decided to donate the proceeds from his app to charity. He's already collected $2,000 so far.
It's very addicting.
And remember, though, it's not an app. You got
to do it online.
Right.
And today's word is? No, I'm not going to say it. New research suggests modern humans are much older than previously thought. The age of the oldest Homo sapien discovered, Homo 1, is at least 230,000 years old. When it was first found under volcanic ash in Ethiopia in the 1960s, it was believed to be nearly 200,000 years old, but a team from the University of Cambridge has cleared things up the age by dating the volcanic rocks above it. They found the samples were related to the Shala volcano that erupted 230,000 years ago. Since Homo 1 was found below that ash layer, it must be older than that. Though earlier forms of humans have been found in Africa, Homo 1 is the oldest with modern characteristics such as a tall spherical cranium and a chin.
Interesting.
I covered that story.
Researchers say they have found trends in studies done on school closures during the pandemic, and their review found that closings consistently had a negative impact on children's health. The researchers looked at 36 studies from 11 countries conducted in 2020. They say schools were closed from periods of 1 week to 3 months, and almost all of the studies documented a decline in children's mental health and well-being, including increased anxiety and symptoms of depression. They also noted a decrease in physical activity among the children.
Stocks got battered on Wall Street amid rising bond yields. The Dow Industrials fell 543 points, ending the day at 35,368. The Nasdaq lost over 2.5%, dropping 386 points. The Nasdaq is at its lowest level since October, and the S&P 500 fell 80 85. Well, the winter is not over, and not all days are like today, 40 degrees out and sunny.
Nope, it's going to change in just a little while, and if you live long enough in Wisconsin, you'll learn about how important warm soup is on a cold day.
Joining us with some amazing beef soups that will fill your body with warmth and our mouths with flavor, Angie Horkin from the Wisconsin Beef Council. Angie?
Hi, Angie.
Hi, guys.
How you doing today?
You?
Soup sounds good on a day like today. What are you making?
I know the weather is taking a turn, so these soup recipes are perfect for these cold winter nights we have here in Wisconsin. Two really good recipes. They make large batches, so definitely enough maybe for one meal, for sure, even for a large amount of people if you have a big family, or for two meals, which we love here in my household. I love cooking once and dining twice, so these recipes are perfect for that. The first one's called a Tuscan beef meatball and white bean soup. And I started by sauteing some carrots and some onions in a little extra virgin olive oil, a little garlic in my stock pot. Just got them softened, and then I added in a bunch of unsalted or low salt beef broth, and then meatballs. And I just kind of make a basic Italian meatball recipe, but I made them really small. They're almost like bite-sized. So instead of 16 meatballs with 1 pound of beef, I made like 35. So the recipe calls for 48. You have to make them really small, but kind of little bite-sized meatballs, so you can eat them easily in the soup. 2 cans of white beans, like cannelli beans or white kidney beans, and then the recipe on the internet on our website calls for farro, but I couldn't find that in my supermarket, so I subbed in some pearl barley.
Okay.
And I think that'll work perfectly. And then you let it simmer about 20 minutes because you put your meatballs in raw and they cook right in the soup with the beans and the vegetables and the barley. And then at the end, you put in some kale. So a lot of protein in this recipe. It's a lot of vegetables, and you got that grain in there too, so it's kind of a complete meal. You could top it with some Parmesan cheese or some Parmesan crisps, which we have that recipe. Along with the recipe on the internet. So
is that the one your kids already tested?
Well, my son ate both because he's got a basketball game tonight. He gave them both thumbs up. My daughter ate the tortilla. So.
All right, what's the second one?
This juice spot's kind of hard in my house because the kids are home. So the second one is beef tortilla soup. He makes even a bigger batch. But I started with a 3-pound beef brisket, a flat, and it fit perfectly in my stock pot. Browned it up on high with some extra virgin olive oil, a couple minutes, took it out, sauteed onions with cumin and garlic, and then put the brisket back in, and then filled the stock pot with beef broth, a big jar of salsa, and a can of like low salt diced tomatoes, and then put the lid on and let it simmer about 3 hours till that brisket was fork tender. Then took the brisket out, shredded it, and then put it back in, and then added a couple cups of frozen corn. And that's about it. And then I got some fun toppings for it. So I got some tortilla strips, some fresh cilantro, fresh avocado to top it. But this is a really, really good beef tortilla soup.
It could be easier.
I would say even make this one ahead if you want and put it in the freezer. Everything in that soup is freezable.
The ones that cook longer always make your whole house smell so good.
So that one takes about 4 hours. The Tuscan beef meatball, about 40 minutes, 50 minutes, so less than an hour. But check out beeftips.com. Right on the homepage right now, we have a link to the As Seen on TV recipes, which goes to all of our soup recipes. So these soups are there, plus a link to all of our soup recipes in a collection, and then of course all of our chili recipes, because it's definitely chili season too. So all brought to you by the Beef Checkoff, Wisconsin's beef and dairy farmers.
All right, also on Facebook, so you can check it out there as well.
Yes.
All right, Angie, thank you. Stay warm.
Thanks, Angie. Good to see you.
You're welcome. Have a great night.
You too. There's more to come at 4. The Amazing Race is back on CBS.
We'll find out how the producers dealt with the pandemic while the teams raced around the world. That's coming up after Julian's First Warn forecast.
Monona Plumbing and Fire Protection serves all of Dane County and the surrounding communities. And with our new location in Monroe, we also proudly serve all of Greene County.
Monona Plumbing and Fire Protection, a name you can trust when service is a must.
Your heart is at the heart of everything you do. And if you have heart failure, entrust your heart to Entresto. It's the #1 heart failure brand prescribed by cardiologists. Entresto is proven superior at helping people stay alive and out of the hospital. Heart failure can change the structure of your heart, so it may not work as well. Entresto helps improve your heart's ability to pump blood to the body. And with a healthier heart, there's no telling where life may take you. Don't take Entresto if pregnant. It can cause harm or death to an unborn baby. Don't take Entresto with an ACE inhibitor or aliskiren, or if you've had angioedema with an ACE or ARB. The most serious side effects are angioedema, low blood pressure, kidney problems, or high blood potassium. Ask your doctor about Entresto for heart failure. And trust your heart to Entresto.
Keeping them safe and healthy, it's our #1 job. So even though we've all heard that the COVID-19 vaccine is safe for kids, we still have questions. That's why our family decided to get the facts on the COVID-19 vaccine for kids right away. And to keep taking simple safety steps as we learn more. Help your kids stay safe and in school. Learn more at dhs.wi.gov/COVID-19/parents.
Welcome to the lifestyles of the smart and savvy. Today, the Coopers are a cost-conscious couple. But back in the day, not so much. Now, saving is more their style, which is why they chose Consumer Cellular. They get the same premium coverage as the nation's leading carriers for half the cost. Imagine talk, text, and data starting at $20 a month. And award-winning customer service. Switch to Consumer Cellular today and start saving.
Hello, I'm Roman Ryan of Ryan Funeral Homes. As a locally owned and operated funeral home, it's important to know that not all funeral homes are the same. Some other Madison area funeral homes are actually owned by corporations based outside of the United States. A corporately owned funeral home is focused on the bottom line, making services more costly. We have served local families for more than 80 years, and our priority is investing in the community and your family. In your time of need, Ryan Funeral Homes are here for you.
From installation, repairs, and maintenance to complete sewer and drain cleaning, visit MononaPFP.com.
Monona Plumbing and Fire Protection, a name you can trust when service is a must.
Take a look at this.
Another package? This is like the 10th one today. How many more you got coming?
This is likely not the only couple in America having a similar conversation right now. His wife is cracking up as she records this hilarious video and admits she got caught red-handed. Her husband is in disbelief at all the packages being dropped off with her free shipping service. He jokingly tells her that the Amazon subscription is now canceled. I ran this for Director Nicole, but she's off today. Because she gets more packages than anyone I know.
Oh, my gosh. That's an overwhelming amount of packages.
That is a lot, and just one day's worth.
Yeah. Sheesh.
All right. Nice warm day today, but enjoy it while you can.
Yeah, maybe there's a coat in one of those boxes.
Hopefully, because they're going to need the whole plethora of things to stay warm. As we take a look at our forecast coming up, folks, we got some chilling news on the way. We'll give you the rundown coming up after the break.
When you're remodeling your plumbing, turn to RHD. We're family-owned and committed to getting the job done right the first time. Reducing the spread of germs is very important, especially now. It's time to think about automatic and touchless plumbing. These new faucets give you a sleek, modern look while keeping you healthy and conserving water. Hand-waving sensors reduce germs, and your virtual voice assistant can help you determine the water temperature and how much to use. Reliable, honest, dedicated. RHD Plumbing, a proud partner of the Green Bay Packers.
To be a thriver with metastatic breast cancer means asking for what we want and need, and we need more time. So we want Kisqali. Women are living longer than ever before with Kisqali when taken with an aromatase inhibitor or fulvestrant in postmenopausal women with HR-positive, HER2-negative metastatic breast cancer. Kisqali is a pill that's significantly more effective at delaying disease progression versus an aromatase inhibitor or fulvestrant alone. Kisqali can cause lung problems or an abnormal heartbeat, which can lead to death. It can cause serious skin reactions, liver problems, and low white blood cell counts that may result in severe infections. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including breathing problems, cough, chest pain, a change in your heartbeat, dizziness, yellowing of the skin or eyes, dark urine, tiredness, loss of appetite, abdomen pain, bleeding, bruising, fever, chills, or other other symptoms of an infection, a severe or worsening rash, are or plan to become pregnant or breastfeeding. Avoid grapefruit during treatment. Ask your doctor about living longer with Kisqali.
Clog their defenses. Sir, yes, sir.
Combat leaves debris and damage to your home and property all year round with a solution you can get and forget. LeafGuard is the only gutter system guaranteed never to clog, whatever the weather. Call 1-833-LEAFGUARD today for a free in-home estimate and get a $50 gift card. Defend your gutters from clogs forever with LeafGuard. Call 1-833-LEAFGUARD today.
Step into the new when you drive a Chevy. It's time for a fresh approach and a new perspective. Meet new friends or reconnect with some old ones and find the Chevy that's right for you. Find new experiences, find new roads. Step into the new with a new Chevy. Very well qualified buyers can get 0% financing on most Chevy vehicles. Plus, current Chevy owners get an additional $750 bonus cash. Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in Wisconsin.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Well, I hope you all have enjoyed your Tuesday because this is going to be the last day for a while. We're going to be seeing 30s in our forecast. We're going to get into that in just a moment as we have a beautiful sunset here in Madison. Current conditions right now, 35 degrees, holding steady into the middle 30s as we approach the rest of our evening hours. But those winds are definitely adding a bit of a chill as we're going in throughout the rest of our evening. Temperatures in southern Wisconsin, however, are still into those middle 30s with 39 degrees in Janesville, one of the warmer spots in southern Wisconsin, with 33 degrees right now in Platteville. As we take a look into our 24-hour temperature change, we've seen some pretty good numbers of increase in temperatures throughout southern Wisconsin, with Janesville being one of the warmer spots, with Watertown with 9-degree increases. Now, as we take a look at our wind speeds, once again, coming in from the south, which is why we're seeing that warmer air roll in for us. However, pretty breezy as we're going in throughout the rest of the evening. But as we go into tonight, as I mentioned, temperatures are going to hold pretty steady. Middle 30s, cloud cover is going to really blanket our skies. But in terms of seeing any kind of real precipitation, you might see an isolated flurry here or there, but for the most part, we're going to stay on the quiet side throughout tonight. Now, the one thing we're going to be keeping our eye on is this transition into some cold weather as we get into our Wednesday morning. As you're starting to head out the door, just know temperatures are already going to be into the teens, but those winds coming in from the northwest, it's going to be wind chills that are pretty much below zero as well. And that's going to be the theme throughout the course of our Wednesday, into those low teens and middle teens throughout the afternoon as well. And here's what we're going to be looking at. That Arctic blast coming in, starting off into our late overnight hours, going into Wednesday morning and sticking around throughout Wednesday, and even more so going into our Thursday as well. Temperatures are going to be very well below zero, especially with those wind chills as well. So it's going to be a cold one, and it's not just going to be those 2 days, because as we go into this weekend, we're looking at another round of some cold air. And here's what we're going to be seeing as we get into our Wednesday morning. Again, around all the upper Midwest, at least we're not in Minnesota, where they're just going to be looking at below zero temperatures to start things off. But as we even go into our Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday night, temperatures are not going to be improving much at all. Then as we take a look at our wind chills, well, again, it's going to be well below zero as we head into our Wednesday morning. Going into the afternoon, slight improvements, but holding steady. But then as we get into our Thursday, that's where we're going to see double digits come back into the frame for us. So that's why we have the alert day in effect for Thursday and Thursday nights, because of those wind chills are going to be so bitter for us throughout the 24-hour period until we get into Friday, where we're looking at somewhat of improvements. Now, the three things we're going to need to know, we could be seeing some possible flurries for tonight. The cold will return, but then going into this weekend, we're looking at another shot of seeing some more flurries, but still not seeing really a substantial or organized snow in our forecast for us. And that's what we're going to be seeing. Temperatures will increase just a bit from Friday into Saturday, but then we're back into those teens heading into next week. We're still looking at a spell of cold weather for us, so just make sure that you're bundling up for the next few days, because it is definitely going to be cold.
Well, the snow on the ground is going to stay there, that's for sure.
Yep, and it's just going to be ice.
All right, Julian, thank you.
Thanks, Julian.
Fans of The Amazing Race won't want to miss tomorrow night's historic episode.
After being forced to pause after 3 legs of the race, that episode picks up 19 months later, the show's longest pit stop.
Host Phil Kogan has your preview of the changes the show installed to keep the team safe and what happens while the teams waited for the competition to restart.
What's going on?
Hey, this is serious. Right now, the world is dealing with the coronavirus. And in order to keep you safe, we believe the best choice for all of us is to suspend the race. We never saw something like COVID affecting our ability to do The Amazing Race. We stopped The Amazing Race season 33 after 3 episodes.
For them to shut down a race of this magnitude. In February, it was a scary time.
Our responsibility was to get everybody home safely.
The only reason we're back here is because CBS and the production company that put this together presented us very openly with their plan on doing it safely.
In a way, it's kind of fun to flirt with a different way of doing the show. One of the ways that we're adjusting is we're saying, okay, we're not going to put you on a commercial flight. We won't be allowing our teams to just go out and jump on public transport.
Okay, I don't know what street we're on. M8 to Glasgow. Go straight.
So I'm excited for them to try the race in a different way. What has everybody been doing for the last 18 months? We've all been adapting. None of our lives are the same.
Her and I got furloughed.
No,
We've just been through a lot in the year. Like, to lose our job, we both had to move back home.
So in February of this year, I had my beautiful son, Miles, and he has literally changed my life.
It's going to be really interesting to see how people come back into this race, whether they've used that time wisely.
This time around, I think that we're going to be using, like, I know her weaknesses and her strength, and she knows
Vice
mine.
versa, yeah.
So we're really going to play into that.
Her and I are so competitive, and we know our abilities. So I think this time we're just going to be easier on ourselves.
I can't believe this is not stick. I really wanted to showcase my hard-earned stick shift skills.
Getting an opportunity to come back and start what we finished, it's a 10 out of 10 in excitement.
It was quite a cliffhanger at the end of last episode.
It really was. Don't miss The Amazing Race restart tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, right here on Channel 3. I'm not sure all the teams came back either.
It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, I can't wait. I love the show. Well, coming up next, a Ford Consumer Report shows us some gadgets for a healthier and happier you in the new year.
And then coming up next hour at 5, we hear from the father of the boy killed in a crash over the weekend. We'll hear his plea for increased safety coming up at 5.
Your eyes, beautiful on the outside, but if you have diabetes, there can be some not so pretty stuff going on inside. It's true, with diabetic retinopathy, excess sugar can damage blood vessels, causing vision loss or even blindness. So remember this, now is the time to get your eyes checked. Eye care is important to your long-term diabetes management. See a path forward with actions and treatments that may help your eyes and protect against vision loss. Visit nowic.com and take control of your sight.
Fixed. No charge.
Ah, that's my son. He always takes care of his mama.
Ooh, what's up with Granny's casserole?
It's for after your Uncle Joe's funeral. My brother didn't have a life insurance policy.
I hear there's a collection to help Aunt Adele.
Yeah, a funeral costs north of $9,000 these days. That's a hefty bill for family to pay if there's no life insurance check to help.
Wow. Makes you think, doesn't it?
Which reminds me, I've been meaning to tell you, I got that $9.95 plan from Colonial Penn. I'm on a fixed income, so price is important.
The life insurance on TV.
Just $9.95 a month to help you pay my funeral expenses. What about your family, son? You've got a wife and kids, and a grandson living with you now, too.
Maybe I should get the $9.95 plan, too. Thing is, this has been a rough year for my business, Ma. Money's tight. Still, for $9.95 a month, I don't have a good excuse, do I?
I'm Jonathan for Colonial Penn Life Insurance Company. If you're age 50 to 85, just $9.95 a month buys whole life insurance with guaranteed acceptance. You cannot be turned down for any health reason. There are no health questions. Guaranteed lifetime coverage. Your insurance can never be canceled. Just pay your premiums. Guaranteed lifetime rate lock. Your rate can never increase. It's locked in as soon as you're covered and stays the same for the rest of your life. With guarantees like these, it's no surprise the $9.95 plan is Colonial Penn's #1 most popular whole life insurance.
Now don't forget, wear your good suit tonight. And please call about the $9.95 plan today while it's on your mind, okay?
Call now for free information.
Call 1-800-505-7613 for free information and your free beneficiary planner. No obligation. 1-800-505-7613. That's 1-800-505-7613. Call now.
Tonight at 5, the Halderson homicide trial resumes today. Here, the overwhelming amount of evidence presented to the jurors.
After a seasonable start to the week, we are turning bitterly cold as we head towards the back half of the work week. We'll take a closer look at those temperatures.
And ahead at 6, we have new information from our special report on the dangers of launching a 5G network near airports. That's coming up at 6. The sun is behind the clouds on this Tuesday afternoon. The past 2 years have been tough for many of us. From a pandemic to political unrest, events near and far can take their toll on our mental and physical health.
But improving those, even with small changes, can make a big impact. Leah Lynchide has some suggestions from Consumer Reports.
Feeling worried and nervous? You're not alone. In a recent Consumer Reports survey, 42% of Americans said they're experiencing more anxiety than they did before the pandemic. Self-care is important because stress and anxiety can cause, among other things, difficulty sleeping, shortness of breath, even chest pain. A stress-free day often begins the night before. If you've been feeling a bit anxious, especially at night, a weighted blanket, which is filled with tiny glass or plastic beads, might help you relax into a restful sleep. Several studies suggest weighted blankets can help ease anxiety and reduce insomnia and fatigue in some people.
What the heavy blanket does is it causes a relaxation of the muscles, and it puts you sort of in that relaxed phase.
Interested in trying one? Not surprisingly, weighted blankets are sold by weight. You should look for a blanket that's about 10% of your body weight. So if you weigh 150 pounds, you'd need a 15-pound weighted blanket. CR found the YNM weighted blanket for around $60 is a good option to try. Add in a meditation app like Calm, Fizz, or Headspace, and you might have the best night's sleep in years. For News 3 Now, this is Leah Lynchide.
Well, as Leah said, a good night's sleep can cure stiff and sore muscles, but one of those massage guns that are advertised on social media might help. At $100, the RenPro R3 massage gun is a good choice for most people.
If you're not ready to invest in one, foam rollers are a great affordable option. You just lie on the floor with the roller beneath you and roll on the area that needs relief. With some newly found rest and relaxation in your life, hopefully this will be your healthiest and happiest year yet.
I want to try that weighted blanket. That might work. That might be nice.
Yeah. Consumer Reports says it's not surprising that sales of houseplants are also booming right now.
The greener you can keep your indoor air cleaner, and seeing and nurturing it can help you feel more tranquil and more connected to nature. Well, the Omicron variant continues its grip on the world, and the need for testing reaches an all-time high.
UW Health's Dr. Jeff Potoff will join us next to explain why it takes so long to get your test results back. That's when Live at 4 continues. We'll be right back.
Suicide.
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 Did the word suicide catch your attention?
Suicide catches everyone's attention.
It's the warning signs that go unnoticed, like
talking about wanting to die,
having no reason to live,
being a burden to others,
a family history of suicide.
Are you missing the warning signs?
Speak up and reach out. Be brave enough to save a life.
If you can't do it,
find someone that can.
Find someone that can. Find someone that can.
Stop whitening your smile the old-fashioned way with strips and trays that can take 30 minutes to an hour. I'm Jonathan Greenhut, the CEO of PowerSwabs. When I met Dr. Ginniker and he introduced me to PowerSwabs and I saw how effective they were and how easy they were to use, I knew we had to share it with the world. PowerSwabs was clinically studied to whiten natural teeth as well as stain caps, crowns, and veneers. It's so effective, it works on stains caused by coffee, tea, red wine, and and even smoking. For those of you who have that one stained tooth that's darker than the rest, Power Swabs can target that area using swab precision.
I really love the fact that you're able to go individually on each tooth and make sure that it's going to be wider.
So this New Year's, if you have yellowing between your teeth or coffee stains near your gum line, just snap, swab, and smile. And each 5-minute application, you'll see whiter teeth. So stop whitening your smile the old-fashioned way with strips and trays that can take 30 minutes or an hour, and start using the Power Swabs 5-minute solution. Just snap, swab, and smile.
After just 7 days, the results were awesome. Power Swabs was easy to use every day, and each day I could see it better and better, and from beginning to end, it's definitely whiter. They look clean, they feel clean, and people have made comments about it, which is nice.
Call for your 5-minute solution to whiter teeth. This new year, order Power Swabs and receive up to 40% off the retail price. Get a free Power Swabs Quick Stick pen with your order. The Quick Stick pen is your on-the-go solution to help prevent stains from adhering to your teeth after drinking coffee, tea, or even after smoking. And in addition to saving up to 40% on your purchase and your free Quick Stick pen, get free shipping by ordering now. Dial the number on your screen or visit powerswabs.com today.
Winter in Wisconsin means snow, blustering winds, and sub-zero temperatures. Will your insulation keep your home warm? Fry Construction can always help. We're your roofing and insulation pros. We'll find cracks and air pathways in your insulation that are letting in the icy cold and hindering your comfort. With our thermal imaging and our cutting-edge insulation techniques, you'll be sure that your home will be warm and energy efficient for many years to come. Visit fryconstruction.com today and prepare your home for the long winter.
And a quick look at our traffic. Well, we're looking at some pretty decent conditions for us. However, on Fish Hatch and towards Mineral Point, a bit of some slow spots as we're getting our commute going for this evening. However, the interstate, not too much in terms of problems as of right now. Pretty normal from getting point A to B across the interstate as well. That's going to do it for our traffic update. Back to you guys.
All right, Julian, thank you. A dog named Buddy was rescued in Arizona after getting his head stuck in a cinder block wall. The dog got loose from home and was found trapped. Text from the Arizona Humane Society were called in and went to work chiseling away at the wall, eventually freeing Buddy. The curious dog was treated and later returned to its owner. But
Glad to hear that.
I hope Buddy learned a lesson. Well, Omicron cases and hospitalizations continue to surge in Wisconsin.
There may be evidence of light at the end of the tunnel, a glimmer anyway, in some parts of the country.
But prolonged waits for PCR test results continue to be an issue. As usual, lots to discuss with UW Health Chief Quality Officer, Dr. Jeff Potoff. Welcome back.
Hi, Dr. Potoff. Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see both of you.
So what's taking so long to get these test results back?
Right. So, compared to earlier in the pandemic, it's not that these tests actually take that long to result once they're on the machine. They come back pretty quickly nowadays. The issue is there's so many people getting PCR tests that when they go to these large laboratories, there can be a backlog in processing them just because a machine can only run so many tests at one time. So we are hearing stories of some people almost reaching, their quarantine period before they get that test result that says, hey, yeah, you were positive.
Some areas of the country are actually seeing a drop in Omicron cases. Places like New York City, mostly out on the East Coast. But it's raising the question of, has Omicron peaked yet? And do we know that, and what kind of variables do we have to use to assess whether or not it has?
Yeah, so what we'd want to see is a few more data points in a row that would suggest that cases are coming down, that, rates of positivity are lower. And it looks like if you look at New York and maybe Washington, D.C., there are some data points that are suggesting that maybe they're coming off that peak. Now, next week we might talk and be like, whoa, that was a big mistake. Like we're right back at it. But, that's at least, optimistic. I think here locally, it's a little bit too early to say if we're at peak or coming off peak. But I think over the next week, boy, I'd love to come talk with you guys next week and say, hey, look, we've come down the peak. It looks like we're on our way down. That would be great news.
And we'd love that too. The government's home testing website goes up tomorrow. Is it a good idea to people to try to get those home test kits?
I encourage people to go and look at this, especially if you're someone who really can't afford the home tests or you're having difficulty getting out and finding them. Maybe transportation is difficult for you. Having tests at home is helpful. And I would say, myself and all the physicians I work with, we all have some home tests. And the way it's helpful is, it's hard to find a test. It's inconvenient. You wake up with a sore throat. You're thinking, man, I'm a little bit achy. Could this be COVID? It's a good thing to do to just take that home rapid test and kind of reassure yourself, or at least know that it's not COVID. And I think a lot of us are really good minimizers. So if we don't have those tests, we'd probably say, you know what, it's not that bad. My aches aren't too bad. I'm just going to go to and pick at work or to some sort of event. And we find out that we end up, infecting other people with COVID. So having that positive result usually changes our behavior. We're more likely to stay home, isolate once we know for sure we have COVID. So I recommend people to go check out that website and get your test ordered if you haven't done it.
And are they pretty accurate, those home tests?
The rapid test is fairly accurate in the situation where you've had symptoms, especially if you had symptoms for a little bit longer than, say, like a day or a few hours. It's pretty accurate. If you have like really good COVID symptoms and that rapid test is negative, usually it's a good idea to confirm that with a PCR. But if you have symptoms and that test is positive, you're good, you have COVID.
But if you're exposed to someone who is positive, you don't want to take that rapid test right away, right? You have to, there's a couple of days you want to wait to get the most accurate result. Refresh our memory about what that timeline looks like.
Yeah, so if you're a high-risk exposure, you've been in touch with someone who's had COVID, you want to either wait 3 or 4 days to take a test. And if that situation happens and you're still asymptomatic, no symptoms at all, a PCR test is a little bit better. Or if you were a high-risk exposure and now you've woken up with some symptoms or you have some symptoms, that's an opportunity to take a test. And that's where the rapid test likely could detect you being positive for COVID.
I think human reaction is, oh, I've been exposed, I better take a test quick.
I think it's just knee-jerk, and there's anxiety there too. Like, am I going to get COVID? And there's this desire to just take it right away, but you'll get this negative result, and it really tells you nothing. You need to wait a few days for that virus to replicate so that test can be accurate.
All right. Hopefully we are seeing some light at the end of the tunnel. I think we've been saying that for 2 years now, but
I know.
But like you said, hopefully by this time next week, I don't know, maybe we'll see a little bit of a sea change.
Everybody
fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody stay healthy, wear a mask.
Absolutely.
Keep well. Doctor, thanks for being with us.
Thank you, Dr. Potoff. Good to see you.
We'll see you next week.
See ya.
Well, the final check of your forecast coming up.
Do you suffer from chronic or severe back or neck pain? Did you know that there is now a treatment method available right here at Midwest Spine and Nerve Center that offers hope of avoiding spinal surgery for those suffering with bulging, herniated, or degenerative discs? Our therapies help reduce pain related to these conditions and have a high success rate in helping people just like you avoid back or neck surgery.
I've experienced low back pain for over 15 years. I had back surgery when I was 26 and had difficulties recovering. The doctors at Midwest Spine and Nerve Center have given me a new lease on life. I am now able to enjoy an active, pain-free lifestyle.
Call Midwest Spine and Nerve Center now to schedule a no-obligation consultation to see if our progressive pain-relieving therapies are right for you.
Habitat homes are built and bought by the hardworking families that live in them. Through affordable mortgages backed by your donations, Habitat Dane County offers a chance for these families to invest in their future and their community. Please donate or volunteer today.
Entresto is the #1 heart failure brand prescribed by cardiologists and has helped over 1 million people. It was proven superior at helping people stay alive and out of the hospital. Don't take Entresto if pregnant. It can cause harm or death to an unborn baby. Don't take Entresto with an ACE inhibitor or aliskiren, or if you've had angioedema with an ACE or ARB. The most serious side effects are angioedema, low blood pressure, kidney problems, or high blood potassium. Ask your doctor about Entresto.
Tonight at 5, the Halderson homicide trial resumes. Hear the overwhelming amount of evidence presented to the jurors today and the Stronger Workforce Initiative, why lawmakers believe this will get people back to work. That's coming up tonight at 5.
News 3 Now's Call for Action team advocates for you, asking the right questions.
Yeah. You hope to make that right.
And getting results.
They sent a water heater the next day after you made the call.
Call for Action, only on News 3 Now.
And a friendly reminder, we have an alert day in the forecast for Thursday and Thursday nights as temperatures will be well below zero from the wind chills into the double digits from 10 to 25 degrees below zero through the morning and then 0 to 10 below zero in the day. And what meteorologist Dana Fulton will give the details on the cold that is coming. Until then, let's toss it back to you guys.
All right, Julian, thank you. Tomorrow here on Live at 4, Dr. Zorba Pastor has all the latest medical news.
And Lisa Briggs from the Bruce Company will be here. She'll be taking your plant and garden questions live. That's coming up tomorrow on Live at 4.
The LINX device stops reflux by using magnets to strengthen the muscle at the end of the esophagus, and this prevents acid from flowing from the stomach back into the esophagus.
Stoughton Health, creating excellence together.
This is Connie Ryan of Ryan Funeral Homes. While things have changed, it's still necessary for families to stay connected. And when it comes to the loss of a loved one, it's important to process and grieve and honor your loved one in a way that keeps everyone safe. We're doing this through intimate services and private virtual streaming so your family can be part of the service no matter where they are. Ryan Funeral Homes are here with your safety in mind and compassionate care in your time of need.
Living with metastatic breast cancer means being relentless because every day matters. And having more of them is possible with Verzenio, the only one of its kind proven to help you live significantly longer when taken with fulvestrant, regardless of menopause status.
Verzenio plus fulvestrant is for HR-positive, HER2-negative metastatic breast cancer that has progressed after hormone therapy. Diarrhea is common, may be severe, or cause dehydration or infection. At the first sign, call your doctor, start an antidiarrheal, and drink fluids. Before taking Verzenio, tell your doctor about any fever, chills, or other signs of infection. Verzenio may cause low white blood cell counts, which may cause serious infection that can lead to death. Life-threatening lung inflammation can occur. Tell your doctor about any new or worsening trouble breathing, cough, or chest pain. Serious liver problems can happen. Symptoms include fatigue, appetite loss, stomach pain, and bleeding or bruising. Blood clots that can lead to death have occurred. Tell your doctor if you have pain or swelling in your arms or legs, shortness of breath, chest pain, and rapid breathing or heart rate, or if you are nursing, pregnant, or plan to be.
Every day matters, and I want more of them.
Ask your doctor about everyday Verzenio.
Illuminate your home with Menard's great selection of light fixtures and LED bulbs. Find your style with Patriot Lighting. Enhance your space with coordinating interior light fixtures. Grab this Patriot Lighting Lance Heathered Bronze Island light for $144.99. Make sure your new light fixtures have fresh, white electric LED bulbs. They're bright and use less energy than an incandescent bulb. Grab a 10-pack of LED bulbs for $5.99 right now at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
Hi, I'm Dr. Aaron Schwab, General Surgeon at Stoughton Health. If you suffer from reflux, please join us for our upcoming seminar on the LINX device, a new and innovative treatment to stop reflux.
Stoughton Health, creating excellence together.
In today's Final Touch, a caught-on-camera crazy car accident in Canada.
That was topped off with a selfie. A sinking selfie taken atop a car submerged in the frozen river. That was just one of the bizarre highlights from a bizarre scene in Ontario, Canada. It started when a car was spotted speeding across an iced-over river in Matitic. No sooner than the wild scene was caught on camera did the careening car break through the ice, forcing bystanders to spring into action. They used a kayak to rescue the woman just before the car went under. But before all of that, the woman was seen taking a smiling selfie on top of her sinking vehicle. The car was left fully submerged, and police say the driver was charged with dangerous operation of her vehicle. A lot of unanswered questions, but the woman said she'd totally do it again. I'm not quite sure. There's something going on here that we don't have all the answers to. All right, that's our time for now. Thanks for watching. We'll see you back here again tomorrow. News 3 Now at 5 starts right now.